Well, a quick Google search will provide you with a fair few examples.
Take two.
Ever since I wrote the last script about bizarre single-use items, Dave writes it, I read it, he writes the script, you know how it works. I've been on the lookout for something more insane than a disposable mobile phone. I don't know if we can get those. What's this? That's my disposable car. You drive it once and then you leave it. I know, Simon thought that they were pretty awesome, but they're not. I mean, I get the use of them. I don't even remember. No, I don't even remember why I thought they were awesome. I'm trying to defend an argument that I don't even remember making. But I'm sure I was right, Dave. As a result of this self-imposed quest, I started to keep a list in my phone whenever I came across weird examples, and although I'm not entirely sure I ever did find anything weirder than a phone, I do now have quite a big list, so I thought I would share some with them you today. He's possessed! Some of them with you today, so you can decide whether or not we have a winner. I will be the judge of that, not you, dear audience, not you, Dave. I will be the judge. Sit down in your single-use camping chair. No fucking way. I guess you could have a chair made out of cardboard or something, right? Sip from your horrible coffee made with a single-use pod and hopefully enjoy. Yeah, I'm a single-use pod person. Like, I'm an espresso boy. It's just so convenient. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Simon, you can get much better coffee and for a much better price. And I'm like, I know I can, but I don't want to. Plastic packaging gone mad. We talked about the excessive use of plastic packaging a little in the last script, but I believe it would be remiss of me not to include this particular example. Lots of things that don't need to be wrapped in plastic come wrapped in plastic. I went to, was it fucking Vietnam? There's some country where they wrap the fruit in plastic. So you like go into the supermarket and you get like an apple and was it Thailand? It's somewhere in Asia. China? I don't know. Like some Asian country. You buy an apple and it's like wrapped in like cellophane. You call that sarin wrap, Americans? The clear stuff, the clear plastic wrap. It was wrapped in that, and then it was wrapped in some sort of foam protector that you'd expect like a computer to come in, and then it was wrapped again in plastic. So to eat your apple, you're taking off like 0.5 kilogram of plastic. It was ridiculous. Today's episode of the show is brought to you by Huel. This is Huel Black Edition. It's not a protein shake, fortunately, because protein shakes can be pretty gross. This is not. And it's also not a snack. It is a full meal, and it takes 30 seconds to make. Name me another full meal that takes I could probably name like a microwave thing that you nuke in the microwave at like 2,000 watts. They'll be ready in 30 seconds, but it'll burn you and it will probably be nutritionally horrible. Not the case with Huel, which is nutritionally fantastic. They got a big list. That was slick. They've got a big list on the back, all of the good stuff in there. It's a whole meal. Oh no, I didn't put the top on, so I can't demonstrate the shaking. But I will demonstrate the drinking. Huel's fantastic. It's a full meal. You just pop it in there. You shake it up. It's easy. Protein, carbs, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals. Plus, it's plant-based, gluten-free, and it costs less than what? $3 a meal? That's a very good deal. I spend way more than that on lunch. I mean, obviously, everyone spends way more than that on lunch. I mean, a lunch that isn't Huel, that is. There are 9 different flavors to choose from, so if you're trying to avoid that crash at 3 p.m., why not hit yourself up with some fuel? Go to my.huel.com/blaze and use the code BLAZE for 15% off, plus a free gift. Yes! For new customers only, though. But hopefully you'll be a new customer, won't you? That's Huel. Thank you to them for sponsoring. And now back to today's episode. But how ridiculous would it be for a store that prides itself on making common sense decisions to alter a product that you could previously sell without packaging at all in such a way that it would need to be completely sealed in plastic to prevent it from going bad? Wait, is Dave also going to be talking about fruit? Are we going to go to the place where it's like, you know, you can go into Marks and Spencer's or whatever, and they have like the fruit boxes, and, you know, it's like, what's that? That's chopped apple in like a sealed nitrogen package or whatever, you know, so it doesn't go brown. I think that's fucking brilliant. Like, I much prefer eating a chopped apple than having to like bite into an apple. It's kind of messy. It's just not as good. The chopped apple's perfect. You're just like, And it feels like having like some like delicious snack. It's got like barely any calories. It's brilliant. Well, it turns out there are Billa, which... Whoa. There's a Billa right near my office. Oh, not near my office, near my house. Billa, which according to the Business Insider is an Austria-based German-owned supermarket chain that bills itself as a common sense store. It's fine. It's a bit it ain't no Marks and Spencer's, put it that way. It's kind of like... I'm trying to think of a shitty British store that's just not that shitty. It's not like Asda. It's not like... It's probably like Tesco. I think Tesco would probably be the closest equivalent, just a bit smaller. And maybe a little bit worse. Decided that bananas in their current ridiculous format just didn't make enough sense and needed to be redesigned. But what's wrong with bananas? They're the perfect packaging-free product. Not only do they already come joined together in a bunch, but they are already sealed in an inedible skin that you peel off and throw away, so it doesn't matter if they get a bit dirty. Yeah, bananas is one of the things that I don't want chopped up and put in a nitrogen-sealed box, because eating bananas with your fingers are going to get all messy. Bananas are already perfect! So, how could Billa and their unique brand of common sense improve this? Well, I had no idea Billa branded itself as a common sense supermarket. It's brand new to me. Well, by taking a bunch of bananas, separating them, peeling them, and sealing them in plastic. Given that I live in the UK, and this product line was very quickly discontinued shortly after hundreds of people took to Billa's Facebook page to wax poetic about how non-commonsensical the idea was, I did not get the opportunity to purchase one of these bananas. Fortuitously, my friend Alex, who sent me a link about them in the first place, lives in Austria, and he did try them. The rent that accompanied the link was rather long, so I shall not include it. But here is a brief extract. Even the plastic they use is stupid. It has one of those little tags that is supposed to tear it open. But I bought 2 on my lunch break, and both of the tags broke. I hate this. What product did I get? I got a product the other day where it's supposed to be a premium product or something. And I'm opening the box and you tear it and the tab breaks. And then it's got a tab from the other side. And I'm like, oh, maybe I just tore it from the wrong side. And I tear the other side and that tab immediately breaks. Like this far in. And you're like, fuck you, whoever designed this. This left me in the somewhat unique position of having to find a knife in my office just to eat a banana. As I said, the product was not around for long. Billa, in a statement on their website, I have to say, if I'm at home and I'm having a banana, I will use a knife. Just because, you got the banana and then you don't want to bruise the top, so I'm always just like, grab a knife out of the drawer, just pop like a little line so you could break it open easier and then just put the knife back in the drawer. I mean, if I'm just out and about, then I'll just use my teeth. Just be like, and open it like that. Bananas are perfect. Who designed that? It's amazing.
From one god being to another, you're welcome.
As I said, the product was not around for long. Billa, in a statement on their website, said that this was a one-off mistake and would never happen again. Because I am as susceptible to stereotypes as the next person, my brain read that in a German accent, and it sounded like it might be rather serious for whoever came up with the idea. This will never happen again. Oh, my German accent needs work. A lot of work. TBMs. Don't know what that is. Some sort of turbo bowel movement, maybe? As technology advances and the human race loses what little patience it ever had with regards to things like travel times, faster and faster methods of getting from point A to B become necessary. Obviously, the coolest way to reduce travel time is by spending all of your time working out ways to coax an extra 100 miles an hour out of your aeroplane of choice, but there are times when air travel just isn't practical. One fairly obvious example of this is the movement of heavy freight.
Classy.
Amazon Alexa reliably informed me that the fastest aircraft ever was the US AF X-15, capable of reaching 4,520 miles per hour. Holy shit. But if you were to stick a few pallets of bricks in there, I imagine it might not have been quite as nippy. No, I imagine it would have, crashed. No, sometimes you just have to develop boring, ground-based travel infrastructure. Speaking of boring, see what I did there? Not yet, Dave, but are you going to talk about boring holes? In order to make the roads or railways required for this travel infrastructure as straight and short as possible, it's sometimes necessary to go through or under things, and that's where TBMs or tunnel boring machines are involved. How is this a tunnel boring machine single-use items? Wait, do they bore into somewhere and then they can't get them out? So they just dismantle them or destroy them? Surely not. Surely they come out the other side. Although, when they did the Channel Tunnel right, they from either side. Well, I feel like there's got to be a solution. You can't just be like, well, I guess that's that. For those of you who haven't spent enough time watching mega projects, a TBM is essentially a massive bowel movement. Is a massive circular cutting blade attached to a bunch of other equipment and is used to, bore out tunnels. Holy shit. What? Given that some of these things can weigh 1,000 tons and contain quite a lot of tech, it's reasonably fair to assume that they're not cheap. In fact, that's not good enough for me. Let me confirm that.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm back, and I was right. It seems like the average price for one of these machines is between $20 and $50 million. Although, in the interest of fairness, I did find one on Alibaba for £45,000.
That's actually a pretty good price.
It's kind of a bargain. It makes like a little mini tunnel that you really have to squeeze through. But why are we talking about these? Surely such expensive machinery can be used more than once, right? Well, sometimes. Depending on the project and the logistics involved, though, these machines are often just buried on site once the job is done. You don't even dispose of them properly, you just bury them. So, wait, so you're digging this tunnel and they meet in the middle and then they're like, oh, what we'll do, we'll just veer off to the sides and then we'll block them up in like some sort of King Pharaoh in a sarcophagus. One of the most well-known examples of this happened during the building of the Channel Tunnel. In order for the process to be completed more quickly, machines set off from both France and the UK and would eventually meet in the middle with a quite frankly shocking degree of accuracy. When they did meet, though, there was a bit of a problem, or to be more precise, a few problems. Firstly, given that the tunnels had been lined behind the TBMs, they were no longer wide enough for them to get back out again. Secondly, even if they had been, they had predominantly been designed to go forwards, and there was not enough room for them to pass each other. Whilst the team on the French side dismantled and removed the one they were using, the Brits just buried theirs in the wall and left it there. How fucking lazy is that? Is $50 million. I've known about this story for years and even briefly mentioned it on one of the live Brainblaze episodes. Oh god, I don't remember that, but I always assumed that it was a one-off occurrence, but apparently it's not. A quick flick through the internet turns up multiple instances where the construction company decided it would be more hassle than it was worth to remove the TBMs. So they just didn't. They salvaged what they could and left the bulk of the machinery just to rust underground. After doing a bit of research into the depreciation on these things, I can kind of see their point. One of the Channel Tunnel machines that was removed and eventually auctioned on eBay, and according to a BBC article from 2004, the 580-ton drill went for £39,999. Holy shit. To a bidder named Stedenham. The price does not include delivery. It probably cost as much to get it delivered. Also, where'd you get that delivered to? How do you even move that? My best estimate, based on the cost of similar machines, puts the original price at about £25 million, so the winner of that auction really did get themselves a bargain, even as some restoration work was necessary. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that, Stedham? Oh, I'm just refreshing myself right now. I'm not sure why I put it off screen. I do get paid to put this on screen. So let's put this here. And I'll just say that if you go to gamersubs.gg/blaze, you can get yourself some delicious gamersubs. I don't know what flavor I'm drinking right now. I can't even tell you what flavor it is because it's like one of those mystery drinks. They call their drinks like such random names like Anime Girl Thigh. And I'm like, I feel a bit weird drinking that, but okay. It tastes, I think this is actually the Anime Girl Thigh flavor. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty tasty. Do feel a bit weird drinking it though. Gamersubs.gg/blaze, and it's caffeinated. You can probably tell. Let's carry on. Could you hear that?
Yes!
Single-use power banks. Oh my god, that's so wasteful. I saw an amazing video.
Yeah, shut up.
About a guy who took batteries out of vapes and like put them all to get like disposable vapes. He just bought a load of, or I don't know, went to like a vape bin. Where do people throw away vapes? I don't even know. But they've got batteries in them. But the batteries are rechargeable. Because when you got a vape, right, it's like the battery runs out usually before the fluid. So you get these rechargeable ones. I have one of these. And it's so well built. You're like, this thing's made out of metal. It's got like the vape juice in there. It's got like a rechargeable USB port on the bottom. I'm like, wait, this is disposable? That seems crazy. But this guy took the batteries out of a bunch of them and made a battery pack for his electric bicycle. And I'm like, that's awesome, dude. I use power banks literally every day. Although I'm currently using an iPhone 14 Pro and the battery on that is pretty good as far as smartphones go, constantly using a screen reader depletes the battery more quickly than not using one. So by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, it's usually time to charge. Not only do I have a heavy-duty power bank in my bag, but the case I use for my phone itself is a power bank capable of recharging my phone twice. Overkill? Perhaps, but given that I'm having to do all of my writing on an iPad at the moment because of a super fun battle I'm going through with an insurance company,
What did you do?
extra battery power is essential. I guess the point I'm making here is that I do fully understand how much of a pain in the arse it is when your device of choice runs out of battery, and how having a spare power bank kicking around is a good idea. However, what I have trouble getting on board with is the idea that a single-use power bank with an advertised shelf life of 12 months would be of much use to anybody. I know that people will put forward the same argument that they did for the disposable mobile phone. You could just throw it in your glove box, backpack, etc., and forget about it until you need it. It will be handy in emergency. But I personally feel that this is an even more pointless device. Firstly, if you're someone who has the wherewithal to plan ahead for such things, you could just buy a normal rechargeable power bank and put it in the same place in case of a hypothetical emergency. Secondly, it's really unlikely that you'd need one in your car at all. I don't know, Dave, I feel like you're making an argument against batteries, just because batteries are disposable. Like, you go to the store and buy Duracell batteries, they're chemical batteries, you throw them away afterwards. Rechargeable batteries are much less common. Is this a chemical battery? Like a regular disposable? Because those are very useful. Like, you're like, oh no, I don't have any recharged batteries. So you just put the disposable ones in. I know it's not good, it's probably terrible for the environment. I am mostly on rechargeable batteries. But, I don't know, man, disposable batteries are pretty handy. Secondly, it's really unlikely that you would need one in your car at all. Even if you break down in the middle of nowhere and need to charge your phone, your car would have to be really broken indeed to not allow you to do this. Yeah, you're going to be able to charge it. Just get a 12-volt cigarette charger. It doesn't matter how old your car is. You're going to be able to charge a mobile phone from it. It's a car. Even if you've had like a massive car accident, you could probably still charge your phone from that fucker. Thirdly, let's go back to shelf life for a minute. The disposable mobile phone claims that, assuming you didn't turn it on, it would be good in storage for quite a long time, about 5 years, if I remember correctly. The 10-pack of chargers that I found on Amazon for around $60 only claims to have a shelf life of 1 year. This is pointless, though. Imagine buying batteries that only last a year. I don't know if shelf lives take into account consideration the amount of time the product is likely to sit in a warehouse before it arrives with the consumer, but I can't imagine there is a huge demand for a 10-pack of these, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they could arrive with you more than a year after manufacture. I don't understand how this is just different from a regular disposable battery, except it's going to have like a USB charger attached to it. Why wouldn't you just buy, if you're really this keen on those, just buy one of those? You get them in camping stores and stuff. Like, it just takes like AA batteries or whatever, and then it has a USB charger coming off it. I remember, like, I don't know, when I used to go on like long hikes and stuff for like days before like regular, I feel like battery packs became a thing after mobile phones were a thing. But I'd go camping and stuff, and I'd have like my iPod, and I'd want to be able to charge it. So I just had one of those chargers which you put like a AA battery in that you can buy at any shop, and it can charge up your iPod. Why wouldn't you just do that? Obviously, I'm being a little pedantic here. I know that things don't immediately stop working as soon as the shelf life is up, but even if we assume that they'll be fine after 2 years, you would have to be one of the most unfortunate or forgetful people in the world to use 10 of these before they stopped being usable. But it gets even stranger. As many of you will undoubtedly remember, I mentioned rechargeable disposable vapes in the last script, and went on about how wasteful they were. Well, I've since found out, mainly because dozens of you kindly informed me in the comment section, that not only do almost all disposable vapes contain lithium-ion batteries, regardless of whether or not they can be recharged, but all lithium-ion batteries have the capacity to be recharged. Oh wow, so I guess that makes sense. Even the ones that don't have the charging port are still technically rechargeable. We are gonna burn through that lithium. This not only makes the disposable vape industry way worse than I originally thought, but it means that every single disposable power bank, or at least every single disposable power bank that I read about online, will also probably be going to landfill with a perfectly functional rechargeable battery in it. Reusable condoms.
You what?
Oh no, you fucking don't. Dude. Although I know this in the past they'd be made out of like goat gut or whatever, and people would like hang them up and then wash them out and hang. Although there are several multiple-use contraceptive devices available on the market today, condoms, often marketed as much for their ability to help the spread of sexually transmitted diseases as for their contraceptive abilities, really do, at least to me, seem to be one of the best examples of something you definitely use once and then throw the fuck away. Yes. I don't know about you guys, but the idea of returning from a one-night stand, washing out your condom, and putting it back in your jacket for next week, that's so grim, for next weekend is not exactly appealing. No, it's not. Oh my lord. So, are these actually a thing, and how available are they? Well, a quick Google search will provide you with a fair few examples, but if you take a look at the top results, most of which come from eBay and not all of which are listed as new, they mostly appear to be extenders or shape modifiers, spikes and the like, that attach in the same style as a condom rather than being specifically designed for contraception. Why would you put spikes on your penis?
Please don't kink shame me.
It's really not to kink shame, but I mean, goddamn. This is certainly not to say that they've never been a thing. If they hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to include them in this video. You don't have to go that far back in time to reach a point where the discerning gentleman in pursuit of all of life's pleasures and none of its consequences could protect his penis with a prophylactic and then place it back in his pocket for future playtime. Take, for example, this option that I found on the Science Museum website. Paragon reusable rubber condom, medium size, in original box with instructions by George's Chemists Limited, London. Circa 1948! That's not that long ago. The museum markets this as something of a premium brand, with one of its major selling points being, quote, it was made in one piece without a join or seam, reducing the risk of it splitting during use. Imagine how much chafing the seamed variety would have. I don't want to imagine. Other benefits include a promise that it would not harden during cold weather, and of course, the money you would save due to its reusability, and also the money you'd save from not having children. The instructions go on to tell you that you should wash it thoroughly with cold water inside and out after use, then dry it thoroughly and sprinkle it with rubber-preserving powder before storing it in the provided box. This is really grim. So, what do we think? Is it completely understandable that such things aren't widely used today, or are we missing a trick in the fight against environmental decline? No, fuck it, I'm happy to... Let's just keep things how they are. We've arrived in the future, and we're all happy we're here. I find my own response rather interesting. While there is absolutely no way I would ever use one of these, I have no problem with, say, a diaphragm. If you don't know what that is, Google it.
No. Okay, we're not doing that.
We're not running a sex ed class today. And isn't that pretty much the same thing? I mean, maybe I'm just being irrationally weird. And on that note, it's time to bring this episode to a close. Please do check out my own YouTube channel, as it's going to have quite a bit of Simon on it over the next month, if Simon's okay with it. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, I'm going on Dave's podcast. I am going on or YouTube show or whatever it is. I'm going on that. I guess there'll be a link. Woo! If Simon is okay with it, I'll ask Wendy to put a link in the description and I'll catch you in the next episode. That's it. Thank you.
He's possessed.